Look at that. That is superb. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're doing a timeless classic. We're making moussaka. Now, I first had this 35 years ago on the island of Rhodes, and it did not contain potatoes. I've had it many times afterwards, and it does have potatoes in. But the first one I ever had never had the potatoes. It had a lot of aubergine, and I've got these fantastic aubergines. So today it's moussaka. Right, the first job then, we've got to prep these aubergines. And these aubergines need cutting into 1 centimeter pieces and some salt on. Let's get on with it. So it's straightforward. Take the end off, put it down there, and 1 centimeter pieces. As easy as that. Okay, we have to be salting these up, and they're going to go brown very quickly if we're not careful. Get yourself a basket. We're going to stand them all up so the fluid runs off. Over there, salt. Now, we are using salt, and the reason for salt, it draws out the moisture and reduces the bitterness. So turn them over and chuck some more salt on from a great height. That's the easy bit. Well, it's all easy actually. And then just stand up your aubergine. And what will happen is that it will leak out the fluid into the bowl underneath. I'm just wondering if we got to do another one just to be certain that we have enough. We'll do this other one just to be certain. So that is our first job done. That is our eggplant or our aubergine salted, and we just leave it for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes, one side, whilst we clear away all this salt. So for potatoes then, I've got these fantastic potatoes. I've washed them, I've dried them, they've got skins on. I'm leaving the skins on. We're just going to slice them into 1 centimeter pieces, and we are going to deep fry them, or shallow fry, in a pan. I like fried potatoes we're going to put to one side before we start cooking our meat mixture. Now, you could do these in the oven if you so wished and have baked slices. But you know, for quickness and speed, we are going to fry these whilst our aubergine is soaking the moisture out. So straight on here then, we want some 1 centimeter pieces. Okay, so just get your pan on, heat up your oil, and we are going to put our sliced potatoes in there and give them a little bit of frying so they brown up on both sides. We're going to take them out. Now they are going to be about probably 60% cooked, 65, 70%, you know, by the time we've finished, and then they're going to finish off in the oven. Okay, when you've got your oil hot enough, we want to be going in there with our potato slices. And our oil is at 180 degrees. Now this is just a quick fry over the top. Now for the eagle-eyed people, there's a couple of little brown specks on here, look. I was frying some chips just before I fried these. So it's just some sediment off the potatoes in here. So it's just a gentle stir. We don't want to actually get the potatoes stuck together, and we need them to cook up. Now for those people who don't want to actually fry the potatoes, squirt some oil on, put it on a baking tray, shove it in the oven, bake them. So there we are, look, the potatoes have started to lift. That means they're cooked, or cooked sufficiently enough for us. Look at those. Okay, cooking the filling is very, very straightforward. Well, a little bit of oil in there. I'm using olive oil. I'm going in there with my garlic and onions. I'm going to give that a little stir. Just cook out that rawness a little bit, and the rawness from the onions. If you brown it, not to worry, it doesn't matter. Salt. Now I'm seasoning now, and I'm going to add the meat, but I want the onions to sweat down in here. Right, that is pepper. So just give it a little minute in there. It doesn't have to be cooked down for any length of time. We just want that rawness gone, and as soon as you get a bit of a tinge on there, you know it's gone. In with our mince. Start breaking your mince up in there. Turning it in. Let's have it cooked. And if you get colour on the mince, so be it. That's flavour. Don't worry about that. So in with our seasonings. And there was some oregano. Give it a stir in so the mince takes on that flavour as it's cooking. So we got our allspice in here, and our cinnamon, and our oregano with that little bit of salt and pepper. So just keep giving it a little mix over, turn it over, cook off that raw beef in there. Now 2 tablespoons tomato puree or paste, whatever you know it by. And now we want to just stir this in and let it cook in there. Take that sourness off the tomatoes with the beef and onions. Tomatoes, tin tomatoes, in with the juice. Stop anything from burning straight away. And then as usual on here, these are not chopped tomatoes, so we're going to chop them in the can with a pair of scissors. Save all the mess going everywhere by squashing them with our hands. In there, nice little stir through. Now we need to turn this down. This is going at quite a rate of knots at the moment. We are after a thick sauce. Now you could put a lid on this and simmer this for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now we do want to be going in there with a bay leaf. Because we got small ones, we're going to go in with 2. Now you want to be turning this down to a little simmer. Gentle simmer. Let all those flavours come together in there. It's nice and steady. Always. I'm actually going to cook it uncovered, just to thicken up quite quickly for my dish. Okay, so once you've got a quite nice little thick sauce like that, that is enough. Now we need to be coming out of there with those bay leaves. We don't want to leave those in. So we'll be taking those out. And we did put 2 in, so there's another one hiding in here. There it is. So we want the bay leaves out. And that's it. All we do, we're just going to turn off. That's got to cool down. And we are going to rinse our aubergine oil it up and cook it in the oven. Okay, and you can see in there, that is all the fluid out of the aubergine from the salt. Okay, I've got a couple of trays here which I'm going to put in the oven. I'm going to put one top and bottom. Because I'm using an air fryer oven, I'm going to have to switch the trays over. Now we want a little bit of olive oil on there, on that tray. This is the easiest way of doing this. And then we'll put some olive oil over the eggplants or aubergine in a second. Okay, we need to be drying our eggplant, our aubergine, and all we're doing is just drying it with some kitchen towel. And this is where this olive oil comes into its own in the tray. We do that. Okay, we smear it all the way around and our eggplant is covered. Now don't worry if you have to just overlap them slightly. They are going to shrink a little bit and we can just move them around on the tray. Don't worry about that, we just have to make sure we have enough on our tray cooking. So we're going to stick the oven on. I'm going on for 180. That'll do. Let it preheat. We're going over here with some more olive oil. Nice and steady over the top. It's got to bake on there. We will be turning them halfway. This is why we're not bothered about if they're slightly overlapping, because they're going to be turned over anyway. Okay, so we're just going to put that in the oven. Now I've set it for 12 minutes. We're going to cook this for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So if I set it for 12, pull them out, turn them over, stick them back in, cook for another 12, that's good enough. Okay, so what we need to be doing now is we need to be flipping these over and changing over the trays. They're starting to cook quite nicely, but we need to turn them all. So turn them over. So all we'll do is just keep an eye on them. We want colour on. If they're not coloured, we just keep it in until we've got colour that we need. Now this was the bottom one, so that's going on the top. And this was the top one, so this one's going on the bottom. Okay, these are good enough for me. I don't need them in any longer. They're cooked enough and they'll have enough texture inside our moussaka. So when we make our moussaka, they will be perfect, look. So we just need to put that to one side whilst we make a bechamel sauce. Okay, we're making a proper bechamel sauce today. We've got a couple of tablespoons of butter in there, look. Now the quick bechamel sauce is just corn flour and milk, but we're going to make a real one. So whiz your butter around in there, flame not too hot. Want to melt the butter slowly, we're not browning the butter, and then we're going in there with some flour. So we've got a couple of tablespoons in there. We want a couple of tablespoons of flour in there. I want to give it a little cooking in. Take out the rawness of the flour. Nice and steady that, look. Now you can cook it to some really thick paste if you so wish. That's entirely up to you. Now we're going to start adding a little bit of milk. A bit more. So we just give it a little stir. We don't want any lumps in there. As you can see, it's starting to thicken again. In with a bit more milk. We're probably going to go that much in total, actually. That'll be it. And just bring it up, warm it through until it starts to thicken. Now, don't rush this, you know. It will thicken up naturally without having to crank up the heat to actually make your bechamel. This is already thickening quite nicely. And it'll thicken a lot more in a minute when we chuck the parmesan in. Right, we're going to go in there with about that much parmesan. Probably about a good half a cup. Somewhere around there. And there you can see we have a perfect bechamel. No hassle. Nice and steady. Flame off. Okay, this dish is very easy to put together. I am going to line out the bottom with some potato. Now you could just line it out with aubergine if you wanted, but I want that potato crust in the bottom. Then we're going to go over the top of there with some aubergine. Nice little layer of aubergine on the bottom. Give it a little pat down. And then we're going on there with some of our meat mixture. Now it's going to be a 2-layer job, this. So we're going to get half this mixture in there. And working in there, let's have that layer flattened on top of that aubergine. Just spread it out first. And then squash in. Squash it down. We're going to back in there with some more potato. Give it a squash into that meat mixture. Well, that was a good guess. Now you can, little secret seasoning in there, a little bit of parmesan. Now people don't do this, they normally save the parmesan for the top. But this way you get a bit of flavour coming through your moussaka. On there. A little bit of meat mixture. In, squash. We're squashing down and bringing towards the edge. Okay, we have a small dish. But what will happen is that the bechamel sauce will run to the top of there, but sit inside like a swimming pool. So just bring to the edge. And don't worry about it, you know the bechamel sauce is going to go all over that side as well when it starts cooking. So you want to be getting your oven back on for about 25 minutes actually. You know, they always say 40 minutes or 45 minutes. Now that's okay, but if you're using a little oven, all this is already cooked. So all we're doing is bringing it together and crisping over the top. We're not trying to cook anything. So come in the middle with your sauce. And then we're just going to pull it to the sides. Because we know we've got this swimming pool effect in the middle that we've just created to hold it in there, you know, because we have too much filling. So all you do, it's going to bubble over. Don't worry about it. Bring it into the side like that. And what you're going to have a really nice crusty side. So there's absolutely no stress. Don't worry about it. And we want to be going on there with some parmesan. That looks absolutely fabulous. A little light dusting of pepper. Just to put those flecks in the top, that's all. It ain't going to pepper it up any. Now for this sort of thing, always on a tray. Always. It will bubble. it's definitely going to bubble over. This stuff inside's already cooked, but it's going to heat up. We're just trying to put some colour on the top. So that is going in there. Now we've got it for about 20 minutes, 24 minutes. We'll see what happens. There we go. Look at that. Just on with a little bit of parmesan. And a little bit of parsley. Look at that. That is superb. Oh, just look in there. What a fantastic bechamel sauce on the top. In, through there. Through our layers. Oh, look at that. Absolutely flipping amazing. Oh wow, that is incredible. That potato, you know, you got that potato, we fried it, we've got that lovely potato flavour. The sauce is delicious. Bechamel sauce, aubergine. That is just such a fantastic dish. I'm still eating, I'm going to carry on. If you like what we're doing, don't forget the big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. Catch you in the next video.